I've been using the Xiaomi Mi Note 10 for about a week now, so what are my thoughts on using the phone? The design is definitely a little step up for Xiaomi, who have mostly used flat screens in smartphones up until now. The curved display is not something new, we've seen it in smartphone for years now, and it's definitely not one of the new crop of waterfall displays. But all in all, it's a very good display, and I think the curve doesn't really detract a lot from the device. I'm not the biggest fan of curves myself, but I think in general the design looks very good. The screen is bright and very colorful, what you'd expect with an OLED screen. It is a thick phone, mainly because they had to fit in that brand new camera sensor, which is just very big and thick. Because they had to make the phone thicker, they were also able to put in a bigger battery. It is amongst the thickest and heaviest phones that I've used in a while, but it's definitely not something that you notice once you've been using it for a while. Yes, it does look extremely like the P30 Pro from Huawei. However, it does keep its own unique Xiaomi-ness. The Mi Note 10 comes with MIUI 11 out of the box. In my opinion, it is much improved over the previous version. The entire operating system has had a facelift and a design change, and I think it just looks a bit more modern, simpler to use. The icons are bigger, text is bigger in the settings screens. Overall, the thing just feels a lot smoother to flick through screens and when opening apps, for example. The Mi Note 10 has a 60Hz refresh rate display, which at the moment is still the standard, but I've been using 90Hz displays more and more, and it is something where you do notice the difference if you've used a 90Hz display for a long time. Switching back to 60Hz does feel a little bit slower and more sluggish than those 90Hz displays. The camera system is without a doubt the main selling point of the phone. It is why the phone exists in the first place. Whilst it sounds incredible that they're using this brand new 108 megapixel sensor, not only does it have more pixels, but it is much larger than other sensors out there. When you use 108 megapixel mode, you of course get incredibly sharp images, but you do need good lighting for that. Also, you can't use HDR mode in 108 megapixel mode. Even though you might get slightly sharper images, the image in general might look a little bit blown out or not exposed as well as when taking photos in the normal mode. The high megapixel mode is probably something you're only going to use on special occasions or in special situations. The zoom on this phone is the best in a Xiaomi smartphone for sure. You get that 5 times optical zoom, which takes very sharp, good-looking, detailed images. Having optical zoom throughout that range is a big plus for the phone, and it gives you a lot more options without losing any detail throughout that zoom range. I was very impressed with the image stabilization during video on the back camera. Both the main sensor and the 5 times zoom camera get optical image stabilization, and it definitely shows. Xiaomi put a Snapdragon 730G processor in this one, which is the best mid-range chip, but it is not a flagship chipset. I would have loved to have seen a Snapdragon 855 Plus in this phone with all the extra power and image processing prowess that would bring. Maybe we'll see that in the Xiaomi Mi 10 when it comes out next year. Being a mid-range chip, the 730G is solid and will get everything done that you want it to do, but it is just going to get beaten in performance and general processing power by those flagship chipsets. If you're not a power user, you just use your phone for social media and taking photos, then you won't need that power, and the Mi Note 10 will be a great phone. Haptics and the vibration motor have taken a little step forward. It definitely feels a bit more solid than the Mi 9 or even the K20 Pro, for example. The speaker at the bottom is loud, it's good quality, and it doesn't distort even at the full volume. However, I would like to have seen stereo speakers in this one. Not a huge deal, but I think it does improve the use of the phone. If you want really high gaming performance, this phone isn't really for you. All in all, this phone is a very good performer, but it focuses on the camera and the design. The camera, while I don't think is absolutely perfect, it definitely is a big step forward for Xiaomi, and it gives you a really great zoom range where you can get great shots from that main camera all the way into 5 or even 10 times hybrid zoom. Subscribe for all the latest tech videos and everything to do with Xiaomi. That's it for now, but I'll see you in the next one.